This segment is sponsored by the Richmond Sentinel, providing news, entertainment, and human interest stories in print and online. This act of kindness segment is sponsored by the folks at the Creek House in the heart of Granville Island. They encourage you to open up your heart and reach out and help someone in need.
As a kid, I came to Arts Umbrella, and every summer with my brother.
That's amazing.
And Arts Umbrella was a big part of us growing up, and I think a really big part of the creative people that we are now.
So you were here in the early years when I ran Arts Umbrella.
I think so, yeah.
I'm so moved.
Yeah.
I'm so honored that you came into the room today to share your story with us.
Well, what you just looked at is really what this place is all about. And this place is Arts Umbrella on Granville Island, part of our latest Random Act of Kindness segment, joined by what we call our kindness ambassador. Dave McCann is back with us, and we have a special guest here who we're going to introduce in just a second. First, David, you wanted to be here for Arts Umbrella. We're just down the street from where you're based at Creek House. Talk a bit about why we are here today, and then we'll introduce this lovely woman.
This lovely lady and one of her friends really shows the power of one or two people that can make a difference in our world. They went from sitting around a kitchen table talking about a few little art classes to having one of the premier children's art institutions in the world, not just Canada, but in the world.
Yeah.
Carolyn Rickies and her friend are just to be congratulated for what they've done.
Yeah, Carol, this is quite a story, and Dave has talked about this element in our segments where the power of one, a couple of people coming up with ideas. As you mentioned, you're sitting around a kitchen table 45 years ago with your girlfriends saying, we got to do something here, and you all put in $50 each. I don't laugh at that, but
No,
I look at what's here today. Talk about those early years and what you and your female friends envisioned.
Well, it was really just myself and my friend Gloria Schwartz. She was a dancer, and I was a sculptor. And we both went back to school at a particular point. She went to Simon Fraser, and I went to what's now Emily Carr. And we said what Vancouver really needed was a really premier art center for young people. High quality classes taught by high quality instructors. And so one day she turned to me and she said, okay, Carol, it's enough talk. So we put together 4 people, and I'm going to name them. It was Carolyn Kramer, Sheila Smeaton, and Lois Wolf. And we each put $50 into the pot, and we ran a pilot project. We actually got a lawyer friend of ours to help us, and we became registered as a not-for-profit and a charity within the first year. And we got a professor from SIFU in the business department help us write a business plan, very complete, and it's what we are today from day one. And we ran a pilot project, and it was over on the south shore of Granville Island in a project, actually my husband designed a housing project in the communal spaces with 45 children, and we held an open house at the end of the 6 weeks. And the then head of Granville Island, Alan Hammond, came to our open house. I'm not sure how he got there because I don't know if he saw an ad for it or I sent him an invitation, I don't remember. And he came up to me and he said, Carol, your project is exactly what we need on Granville Island. Come and see me and I'm going to give you a building. And we did go see him. And we ended up with the building on Cartwright, not the one we're in now. And the rest is history, right? Except we're here to talk about, I know, the kindness of strangers. And we had never fundraised in our life. The lawyer volunteered his time, the man from Simon Fraser, and all of us did. And we had to get help to raise the money. And Arthur Folks was a prominent lawyer in the city and philanthropist. And we went to see him and we said, we need help. And he said, I'll help you raise the funds to renovate the building. The building was an old warehouse. It was obviously not in good shape. And we got a grant from the provincial government. He helped us get it. And we had 25 out-of-work men renovate that building. And when we began, it was all about a lot of volunteers. Then we built a volunteer board with David Whitelaw as our chair of the board. And you cannot begin to do something like Arts Umbrella without the support of the community. That's what we're all about today, is the community helping from kindness in their hearts and wanting to be involved and wanting to make it grow and be better.
What's interesting, David, jump in here too, because one of the consistencies when we talk about what you do and on Granville Island is that everything that Carol talked about, I'm looking at it through a 2024-23 lens, not 1979-80, when this island really wasn't that appealing.
It was an industrial wasteland. And I mean, when you look at people that had a vision, I don't think Carol ever envisioned that it would be what it is today, but they sat around the kitchen table and they said, let's try and make a difference. And it's like when you throw a pebble in the pond, you don't know where the ripples are going to go. And I just encourage people, if you've got an idea to go out and help people, go and do it. Because this is what can be the end result.
It's amazing. And I think what it is, like people always say to me, Carol, is this what you envisioned? And I think what happened is we never saw an end. We just kept building. We didn't say when we got somewhere, well, that's it, right? And so it's a different feeling that if you have an end game, then you have a beginning game that keeps growing. And I think that was one of our strengths, is that we had a beginning game.
And before we wrap this segment up, David, a nice presentation to Carol and Arts Umbrella.
Jim, you and Lita were kind enough to give me the sheet music that you see here. It's from the movie Barbie. It's signed by the very talented team that directed and did the movie and did the music. And it's a gift to Arts Umbrella for you to use in your fundraising purposes. I know there'll be a lot of people that will bid on these and take them home.
Yeah.
Absolute pleasure.
This Act of Kindness segment was sponsored by the folks at the Creek House in the heart of Granville Island. They encourage you to open up your heart and reach out and help someone in need. This segment was sponsored by the Richmond Sentinel, providing news, entertainment, and human interest stories in print and online.